Previously on Back to Basics.
Jebediah Kerbin, you stand accused of illegally eating a year's worth of snacks. How do you plead? Not guilty, Your Honor. Let the trial begin. The prosecution has employed a new method of ascertaining the truth which I have permitted to be used. Proceed. Now just wait a minute. No, stop it! I won't do it again!
Stay tuned for the thrilling conclusion.
And we are now back, and as you can see, we've already got this little landing vessel up, and we are now encountering Minmus. The regime that we are going for is an off-plane transfer, largely because of the fact that we did not want our stage to go too far off, of course, from the KSC. That is, it's about time for us to make this happen right now. And I suppose I will talk a little bit about what it is that we plan to do. So, a few things. First of all, there is a minor issue with the fact that I think we have more than enough monopropellant. That's not going to be an issue at all, but there is an issue with the fact that we will, of course, have to do a plane correction. Also, this is probably the longest Minmus mission I think I've ever done. And that simply has to do with the fact that we are maybe coming at it at an odd angle. Our space station will be there well ahead of us. As you can see, we've already spent about a day in orbit getting these satellites in, and we actually do want to recover them pretty soon. So there's, of course, always this. And for the most part, we're doing okay, I think. Unfortunately, with an off-plane transfer like this, there's not much that we can really do, except perhaps it may be possible whenever we get into orbit around Minmus, or get close to it rather, to do some inclination changes as we want to do. The main issue, of course, is going to be that we need to get into orbit around Minmus right now. Or not right now, but pretty soon. And it will be important that we do so as soon as possible. We do get a little bit of an inclination change. It'll get us as close as is reasonable. But that will be something we'll have to deal with. And of course, we are burning our fuel here, our lander fuel, which is, I guess it's okay. Although I think we're not really at the apoapsis we want to be. That should get us pretty close here. And, of course, it does not. I think maybe we could possibly do something about that. That's probably not a bad place to burn, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to schedule an inclination change here. To at least get us pretty close in. And that will be something we'll add to the list. maybe give us a couple of minutes here, because it's not all that much, and we can do it with RCS, I believe. Anyway, out to the Minmus Station, which should be properly called Minmus Station. Let's get ourselves into an orbit of some kind. By the way, I did go ahead and make the to be continued deal here, although I guess it's, can we warp to this? Not immediately. I did make the to be continued bump for this because the episode's getting a little bit long. And let's just get ourselves a crew report. In fact, well, I'm gonna wait a little bit. We'll rename this to Minmus Station 1. I've been thinking about the fact that we could have multiple stations in orbit. One for each of our things here. And I think we can pretty much count on this guy being here. Periapsis is not quite where I want it to be, so I'm going to focus on Minmus. Then again, it's actually not too bad. If I can schedule a minor burn here, I mean, the real question is going to be, is it going to be possible if we move on in here? We'll just kill this node and add this guy here, since it's close enough to our entry point. And we'll even move forward just a little bit. Our Eve mission. Whoa. Okay, we're kind of in a weird position here. There we go. We have our intercept. What's our inclination look like? That needs to be changed almost immediately. Inclination is 5 degrees. That's not going to be too hard for us, I don't think. You need to figure out, we need to burn up, I think. And we'll just kill that for now. We have a little bit of time to correct inclination here, so that's not going to be a huge deal, but I'm more interested in seeing maybe if we can get these guys set up properly. Okay, what has happened here? We have managed to move out of our range here because we're not close enough by. So let's move on in. It turns out we were not actually in our sphere of influence as we wanted to be, so we may need to do some work to lower our inclination. But But now we are definitely in the Minmus sphere of influence, and that's going to be a good thing. Maybe. Technically, are too close right now, so I'm going to at least bring our apsis down. And maybe rely on our timing here. I think a good solid 40k orbit or so is not a bad thing to strive for. And maybe the thing to do now is transfer some fuel out from our little storage container here into here. And we can transfer it back in when we're done. We get a lot better delta V this way, because we won't really need much in the way of delta V, I'm sure. But, maybe... You know, it could be the case that maybe we could do something to affect that. I mean, again, we have plenty of time to get out here and see, so that should more or less put us where we want to be. And now the question is, if we take this hour here, I think this is maybe the descending node here. We are still very, very much inclined, and I don't really know if there's much we can do about that, except maybe get ourselves into a loose orbit here. And adjust accordingly. If we can maintain zero inclination, and I'm actually going to stretch the sky out just a little bit so we have some time to adjust for this, I think we'll be okay. So let's get in position and let us warp here, because we have another 5 or so days. Oh, okay, that could be a problem. One that is solvable, of course, but one which I maybe should have been paying more attention to. Okay. Now, about here or so, we're already down to this one guy here. And so the question is, can we find a zero inclination deal? It looks like maybe Appalapsis is the best place to make that adjustment. Let's see how much bang for our buck we get in doing that. Yeah, let's warp out to Appalapsis then. I believe this is our ascending node. And we should have plenty of time to stabilize this. Incidentally, we got that contract. We just want to make it more accessible, I think. And so that is precisely what we are going to do here. Maybe not quite on the node here. But, you know, 0.7 is good enough for now. That's a fairly solid inclination change, considering that when we came in here we were starting from something completely different. If we can just tighten up this orbit, I think we will be okay. That's 39 by 40. It's a little bit on the eccentric side. Maybe with a little zoom. That's even better. I don't think we can really do much here. Except maybe hope that what would really be nice is if we had our inclination relative to the planet or our nodes. Still 4 days on Satyr, or Satyr, or however you want to pronounce it. Panpipes are not included. And we'll go ahead and burn at 7 here. Even though we are somewhat... We're not in a very good way, I don't think. But given our abscess here, we want to be very, very careful. Still plenty of electric charge for us, no doubt. And do we have a crew report from this area? We'll send that. We'll get that science. Because it is almost always good to phone home. And we should be pretty close to ready here. If we just stabilize this orbit, like so. Well, if that's not close to perfect, then I don't know what is. Main thing we need to do now is jettison this. At this point, relying on the station keeping jets is going to be okay by me. And we can, you know, while we're doing this, I think we're about to completely fill up here. It's good to know that this thing has served its purpose. So, yeah, why not? Let me just correct that minor change in inclination there. Or, I guess it's not really an inclination change, it's an orbital change. There we go. Put on the parking brakes now. And these guys are more or less disabled. That leaves this guy here. Now we can target this dude once we get in, and I'd rather do that more than anything. I'm going to go ahead and maybe see if we are focused on Minmus, which is somewhere around the neighborhood. If we focus on this guy, we're coming over the top, which is not good. We're also coming in on the wrong side. And on a collision course. Where are we? This is our escape vector here, so we're in fact on the correct side here. In fact, the issue seems to be that we're just a scotch too close. that's looking fine to me. We'll make our mid-course plane change here. And I'm not really going to try to rendezvous just yet, because I've meant to do something at this point. And that was to install the Navy Fish mod. Though we could definitely rendezvous, I think. That seems close enough to me. Let's set this guy as a target and come on in. And maybe work to it. How close are we to... We're still a day out. Wow, this is quite the deal here. And we actually did come in on the wrong side. Somehow. Nonetheless, we are very, very steeply inclined here, and that is a bit of an issue. One which I do want to take care of, but for which the, you know, really, the time to our ascending node is pretty bad off, and I do want to change that. I think maybe burning down will help. And we will just have to get that inclination matched up by ourselves. So, let's see, we have 100 meters here. A looser orbit probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Just so that we can get close. Also, I'm thinking we'd be good to go ahead and straighten this guy out as much as we can. Let's add this to our alarms, and let's warp on in. Relative inclination is 90 degrees. Why? Well, sure beats me, I'll tell you that. If we go to stations here, Minmus Station, we should be pretty close, I'm thinking. And so with an 11-second burn, which I've started late, we will simply get this guy adjusted here. And that shouldn't be hard to do. It's coming up in 24 minutes. And if we can just make for that correction, then it'll simply be a question of us going through and bringing this guy along, making him dock up, as it were. So we can, I'm going to use RCS for this because it's not a bad idea. And that is more than sufficient. We have not a number here for this guy. Finally, I think by bringing this down to maybe 50 something, 57, it's okay to circularize now, of course. And because we are about as close as we can really get. That's 58 by 57, I'll take that. Okay, and that's only 27 meters per second. At this point, we're more or less going to have to dock up to the sky. There's really no alternative. Still 1 degree of inclination off, of course. And the next question is going to be, if we meet up with this guy, where's the best place to do it? Maybe periapsis would be a good idea. We can get this guy sorted out and it'll only take an hour or so. And so why not? Let me just time this burn so that it'll work. And you know what, let's just even just warp to the maneuver node. It'll give us some time to correct for what we're doing. It is probably a really good idea at this point to use RCS. And maybe as soon as we can. Let's see. How much in the way of time do we have? We were just a little bit on the late side, I think. give us, I don't know, maybe 1 kilometer or so. And let's get ourselves into a nice, stable. See, how far away is that? Still 5 minutes, of course. We are getting pretty close here. So close, in fact, that we do need to be careful not to collide with the station. And I think really all it's going to take is the judicious use of RCS. And maybe some lights will help too, because we do have those and it would be good to land with them. So I'm thinking maybe this guy would be the easiest for us to dock with. Certainly we do want to control from here. And given our proximity, I'm going to slow down just a little bit. So that we're... Well, first of all, it would be good, I think, to turn on our lights. And maybe we should slow down as well. So it's not turning out to be too terribly difficult of a docking so far. Except that I do seem to be having trouble figuring out where it is to go. And let's see if we can make that happen. This, of course, is the trickiest part of docking. At least as I can see it. Because, well, at least the station isn't rotating. That's usually a good sign. Not really the easiest thing in the world to align either. But I'm confident in the idea that perhaps we will be able to dock. And there we go. We could transfer this crew out for now, or maybe they can go down to the surface. I haven't really decided. We will have to definitely give that some thought. But while we're out and about, we should really begin to think about what step we're going to take next. And I've decided we need a base like this on the moon. We also need more Kerbals to staff it, so I'm gonna go ahead, bite the bullet, and take this upgrade here. And there we go, build a new orbital station around the moon. We don't really get much for it, but I'm going to take it nonetheless. And maybe we could possibly make up for this by having a new Minmus outpost. Possibly. I think that that would be an okay thing to do. Also, we need more in the way of easy science. And I believe that that is best handled by this. We have a good stack for it. So we'll do that. And in the interim, oh, I'm so close. There's one way around this, because we have not taken seismic scans of the launch pad. And I really do want to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to take this guy here and attach the seismic accelerometer and recover it. It would be nice again if we got some of those high dollar testing contracts. I mean, it's not the end of the world if we don't, but it means we do have to wait a while. Let's see, 2.1 science, and same here. Well, why not? I think in the next episode, we're definitely going to focus on well, first of all, if we go here to our contracts here, this guy will give us 96 science. Not really enough to unlock anything. Nor is, well, this guy could be useful for that, I think. But I'm going to go ahead and unlock these guys here, because we can do some really awesome things with them. And I'm going to go ahead and buy them too. Again, because we can do really awesome things with them. Next up on my radar, I think, will probably be getting these outposts fueled in some fashion. And I think that'll do it for now. I certainly do think maybe we should get another crew going, because we have really, not enough people. So we have enough for 2 more crews that will need to be trained. And we will perhaps want to get this bus going. Get a crew rotation going, as it were. But that will be in another episode. And until then, this has been Thy Lord Root, and I will see you later.